Hey everyone, this is Lisa. You know, I just thought I'd do a live where we chit chat and about different things. Um, I just felt the need to talk. Um, the first part of it, I do want to talk about you know mental health. You know, um, some of y'all are aware that I have started a mental health channel, and I haven't been doing as much as I should be, but this year I made a commitment that I would start doing more. So I'm going to start doing more. You know, um, Look, people, these are tough times. These are trying times. With the pandemic, with the Omicron. I said Omicron, not Omarion. I said Omicron and the Delta variant. And the fact is that you know having to social distance from people or having to stay in the house, you know, that takes a toll on your mental health, you know? Because I live upstate New York, and usually during the summer, I like to take a trip. I usually like to take at least one trip during the summer to the city, just to get out of the house and get out of the atmosphere and just kind of hang with my peeps, but since this coronavirus hit, you know, that is not a feasible thing to do, you know. So I understand the fact that, you know, we can't go places or do things like we used to, but it's like I say, you know, and I get it that everybody has their own opinions on the vaccine, you know. But I've had the vaccine, I had the Moderna vaccine, and I had the booster, and I am fine. The only thing I got out of the vaccine was a sore arm. The one thing I got out of the booster is I had sort of like flu-like symptoms. They didn't go full on, but it was teetering. But after a couple hours, that went away. You know, but we cannot expect to get back to normal if people ain't doing what they should be doing. Now I'm not the one to say, and I said it before, I'm not the one to tell anybody what they should and should not do. Okay, you don't accept the vaccine, that is your right. You know, that is your right, but you don't have the right to make anybody else sick. That's what you don't have the right to do. You know, and you don't know if you got it. You could be asymptomatic, which means you can be a carrier. You don't have to have symptoms to have it. You know, you, some of y'all don't want to test. Y'all don't want to get vaccinated. You only get a boost shot. But let me ask you this question: how do you expect for everything to come back to normal if you don't? You know, that's all I'm saying. You know, think about it. Use some kind of common sense. How do you expect the world to get back to the way we used to be if people are not doing what they should be doing? You don't have the right to make me sick. I'm sorry, you don't. Just like I would not have the right to make anybody else sick. I don't have that right, and neither does anybody else. You know, okay, we ain't going to go around, but I'm just saying, you know, people want the everything to get back to normal. Well, I tell you what, until you start doing what you should do, it's not. And until you start doing what you do, it's going to constant. This coronavirus is going to keep mutating, and we don't know what the next mutation is going to be. You know, I just read somewhere last week. Uh, some guy trying to prove that coronavirus was a hoax intentionally got coronavirus. He's not here today to talk about it because he died from corona. So my thing is, if you're not sure, talk to your doctor. Just have a conversation with them. Because before I took the shot, I had a conversation with my doctor. It's not like the flu shot, they hit me up, I had that conversation with my own doctor before I even took the vaccination. And I'm fine, you know? And that's bringing me back to this point where, because the coronavirus has played such a major part in everybody's mental health, you know, because we can't go out hanging like we used to. We can't go out to parties, we can't go to restaurants, we can't go to the movies, not like we used to before all this happened, you know, and that plays with psyche because we're social creatures. We are very social creatures. We like to be social. We like to be out and about. We like to be doing stuff. So when something says, okay, cannot do it until this thing passes. It's like somebody done cut off my oxygen tank. Wait, what? What do you mean? What happened? What? Huh? Okay, right. So I'm just saying, people, you know, I'm going through my own issues, you know, with mental health. I suffer from PTSD, you know, from sexual assault in military. You know, I do my one-on-ones every couple of weeks. And now, a couple of days ago, when I did speak to my therapist, she mentioned she, she really would like for me to do the equine therapy. And I love horses. So I'm like, okay, I'm all in like Jack Flynn. Okay. I love horses. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be looking into because it's supposed to have, you know, damn it, what's the word I'm looking for now? What the hell word I'm looking for? It's supposed to have, oh, positive property. Positive property. Is that the word we're looking for? Yeah, your girl got jokey jokes. I, positive properties to it. We're gonna go with that. Go with that. You know, um, you know, and then eventually, we're gonna get into prolonged exposure. And trust me, I am so not ready for that one. Okay, and prolonged exposure is basically constantly getting into the trauma, and you're constantly talking about it, talking about it, talking about it, to where the symptoms are less severe. And honestly, I'm not looking forward to that. But I think I may be in the position to be ready to do, because some of y'all know, even though I haven't gone into the story, the whole story, but y'all know, some of y'all know. And, um, and the one time that I did go into it a few months back, I had a panic attack. Hell, I just had a panic attack last week, and I wouldn't do nothing but laying in my bed watching TV, and I had a panic attack. You know, and then like last Thursday, you know, I live literally right down the block from the Hudson River. Okay, so there they have a marina there. And last Thursday, between the hours of 10 a.m. and 11 a.m., I heard this loud boom, and I felt my house shake a little bit. And honestly, I just thought somebody just, somebody done wrapped their car around a pole. Somebody don't know how to drive, you know. But then I heard all the commotion, like I heard like a lot of cop cars. I heard the fire trucks. I heard the ambulance. But the thing that really set it apart for me was when I heard the helicopter. See, when I heard the helicopters, then I knew it was something really serious, and somebody is probably being airlifted. You know, so I spoke to my neighbor, and he told me, yeah, there was an explosion on a marina, and somebody who did have to get airlifted. You know, and I'm like, oh dear, you know. But later on that night, when I got ready to go to bed, I had a nightmare. Okay, and anybody know me? No, I do not do snakes. I don't like snakes. I don't keep them. Mm. You bring one to me, and my mama gonna have a new pair of snakeskin shoes. That's all I'm saying. I don't do snakes. I'm sorry, I just don't do snakes. So when I had a nightmare and it was about snakes, and I couldn't go back to sleep after that. Even when I tried to rewrite the ending, or even trying to get into my happy place, it was not working, you know. And so, the next day I had to sit in it and for a minute and try to figure out what it was all about, and then it dawned on me, it's fear. It's fear. It was fear. You know, that explosion set off fear in me, which caused me to have a nightmare, you know. And it's like I tell people, like, my nightmares are not like your typical nightmares. My nightmares don't manifest in the situation that it was in. My nightmares, like I was sexually assaulted. My nightmares don't manifest in that. It manifests in another way, and in that way, it was snakes. You know, so I'm like, okay, okay, this, okay. So I figured it out, you know, and I spoke to my therapist and I told her all about it, and I said, but that's just the way it goes. My dream, my nightmares don't manifest in that particular way. It manifests another way, but it's a way that I know that I can put the two and two together, you know, because it's not about, for me, it's not about what's in the dream. For me, it's about my feelings, my my mood, like What was it that triggered the nightmare? Okay, in the first place. Then once I figured that out, then I had to figure out what was it that it had in common, and even with the explosion, what was it that it had in common with the sexual assault? And it was fear. That was the common denominator, fear, you know, and I figured that out. So now I know fear is a trigger for me, you know. Um, but the thing is, sometimes, I always heard the saying, what doesn't kill you make you strong, you know, and and now I'm kind of, I'm kind of actually getting a grasp of that because sometimes when you have a nightmare or bad dream and or you feeling some kind of way and you trying to do everything you can in a positive way to change it and it won't go nowhere, sometimes we just have to sit in it until it passes. And that's what I just found out. You know, sometimes you just have to wait until it passes. The only thing you can do is try to maybe help alleviate the anxiety of it, you know, try to not let it be so intense. But sometimes we just got to sit and let it pass, you know, like that. I had to sit and let it pass. Once I figured out everything and I did everything I could possibly do in a positive way to try to, you know, make it go away, I just had to sit in it. I had to wait till it passed. And thank God for me, I was able to sleep the following night. So sometimes we just have to sit and sit in it for a minute until it passes. But that doesn't mean that if it happens that you automatically just sit and wait and pass. Because sometimes there's things that you can do positively that might actually make it go away. And then there's some things where you do everything positive for yourself and you have to wait until it passes. you know so and that's something that I just learned is that I had to let it pass. But the thing is, I had to be aware, and this is the key word. When you're dealing with mental health issues, you have to be aware of your feelings. I'm sounding like a social worker. Okay, I need to get paid like one. Okay. No, I'm okay. But I'm getting old. I just lost my train of thought. Stop laughing at me, y'all. I just totally forgot what I was saying. Um, oh, fuss budget. I can't believe I can't. Okay, I need to take some ginkgo biloba. Something for my memory. Something. Help! This sink, this ship is sinking. Oh gosh, no. I was going. I was just. and I did it to myself. I just did it to myself. Normally, I have people do it to me, but this time I did it to myself. Um, it's like saying sometimes you gotta sit and just let it pass. You know, um, I just did it to my. I I just bamboozled my God. Okay, I totally forgot what I was saying. Oh dear God, no! Help me, Lord, help me. Um, um. Okay, so you know what? I'm going off the beaten track right now. Okay, maybe it'll come to me while I'm talking about this. And as some of y'all know, I am a minister. You know, and I wanted to talk about the love that we have for each other. Um, this is not it. Yeah, this is not it. You know, if God treated us the way we treated each other, we be in a whole hell of a world of hurt. We supposed to be loving each other unconditionally, and we're throwing nothing but hate. We're tearing down each other. We're suing each other. It's like, oh, come on. This is out of control, people. We need to learn to love each other. But see, you can't love somebody until you learn to love yourself. And that is the key. And for me, I can judge somebody about how they treat somebody. I can judge somebody just by the way they treat somebody. You know, if you treat somebody with hate and malice and just, because that tells me that you don't love yourself. Because if you can't show this person love, how could you possibly love yourself? You know, there's no way. There's no way. You know, you have to start with yourself. You have to learn to love yourself. Okay. And for me, I didn't always love myself. You know, it has been for the last few years that I'm starting to love myself. You know, so I know how to treat people. You know, I try not to treat people with disdain, but God knows He ain't finished with this girl yet. He's not. But I try not to treat people with disdain, and I try not to treat them with harshness. You know, but at the same token, right? I'm not gonna pussyfoot around anything either. So I try to find a balance to say what I need to say, but say it on a softer tone, you know, to where this person don't feel like I'm chewing them up or I'm tearing them down. You know, I try to bring it to a softer level, you know. And that's the thing. Okay, well, talking about that, you know, and going back to mental health, I know I'm jumping around. Talking about mental health, right? I don't know if anybody can relate, to, like, after I had been sexually assaulted and I also been raped, I have emotionally detached. I have become emotionally detached from people, you know, because it was like, you know, when it happened, it was almost like an out of body experience. It was almost like my spirit jumped out my body and said, "Wait, what's going on?" You know. But since then, we just haven't been on the same accord. A detachment, a numbness. You know, because I've been numb for a whole many lot of years. You know, and I'm working on that too as well, which is also a part of equine therapy. You know, you know, but I'm slowly coming back. You know, I'm not gonna say to the person that was, because that's not gonna happen. But I'm coming back as a better, improved person. You know, if you could understand what I'm saying, I'm coming back as a new and improved person. People ask me, well, Lisa, all that you've gone through in your life, would you change anything? And honestly, to look at me now, I can honestly say I wouldn't change a damn thing. Because if it wasn't for what happened, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And we would not be having this conversation, you know? And then you have people that's never been through it say, that's been how many years ago? You need to get over that. No, okay, I tell you what then. You let somebody hold you down, assault you, and rape you, and then come back to me and tell me like 10 years later that you got over it, that you let it go. Because that's not gonna happen. Because what you have to understand is a violation, okay, of the utmost kind, you know, and that's something that you can't. This is something that I will live with the rest of my life. I'm just getting the tools to deal with it. So if certain things come up or a trigger comes up, I know how to deal with it in that moment. Okay. So it's so easy for the next person to say, that happened so many years ago, let it go. It's so easy for you to say because it's never happened to you, you know? And and until that happens, you and I got nothing to say. You can't speak on it, you know? It's like when my mom passed, and I've had people come to me and say, "Oh, I feel bad. I understand what you're going through," and that has to be the worst insult that you can give somebody in mourning, because at the end of the day, you still got your mother. So exactly what is it that you understand? Because in my eyes, from where I'm sitting, you can't possibly understand until you lose your mother. Then we can have a conversation. But until that point, I just as soon as you not say anything, or if you feel like you need to say something, just I'm here for you. If you need to talk, vent, I'm here for you. And it should go no further than that, because anything after that is going to be an insult and a slap in the face to the person that just lost a loved one. You know, so I'm just saying. You know, so it's hard to do when you deal with mental health, it's a challenge. It is a challenge, and I can guarantee majority of people in this world suffer some type of mental illness, most likely PTSD. You know, because there's somewhere in your life that there was trauma. Either you don't know, either you don't remember, or you forgot about. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. I said what I said. I said my. I stand exactly by it. If you don't like it, call a politician. Uh, I don't know what that had to do with anything. Um, I'm mad. I can't remember what I was saying. I'm not even 60 yet, and already I'm forgetting things. How that happen? I'll be 60 in 3 more years. I tell you that. Both of my sisters are in their 60s. My older sister is, she just turned, she just turned 61, 62. No, she just turned 62. My other sister just turned 60, and I'll be 57 in July. Don't y'all get me doing the math, because you know it's something up like that. My older sister, I believe, is just turned 62 in January, and my other sister just turned 60 in January, and I'll be 57. You know, I know I don't like I don't look like it. You know, I don't act like it. But it is what it is. And we're gonna stick with that, you know. Um, so I'm too young to be forgetting stuff. And I did it to myself. Nobody else did this to me. I did it to myself. That's just wrong on so many levels. I mean, hell, at least if I had somebody here with me, I could say, "Oh, that's your fault. You made me forget because you was saying something where I was trying to say something and it just didn't work out." This time I did it to myself. I bamboozled my own damn self. I'm like, okay, well, me and myself need to have a conversation because this we can't have that. I can't allow that. You know, but mental health is a challenge. But you know what? It's a challenge that we can overcome if we choose to overcome it. You know, first you gotta acknowledge it. It's like what is the first step in AA? The first step in AA is admitting to yourself you have a problem. Well, that's with anything. That's like even with mental health issues. You have to first admit the fact that you have a mental health issue, and then from there, you work from there. But that's always the first step. You have to admit it. Because if you don't admit it, the work that you're trying to do is going to be worthless, you know? So I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. But, you know, Life is short, people. Life is really short for us to be treating each other this way, you know? Because I'm working on my first sermon. My first sermon in the series is going to be love. We need to start loving each other instead of tearing down somebody or talking ill about somebody, you know? And a case in point, Wendy Williams. I don't particularly care for Wendy Williams, okay? Excuse me, God. You know, but I don't wish her harm. I still love her as my sister. But you have to realize, you have to look at it. What is the type of job that she does? She's a gossip. She talk about people. She tear down people. And that's the result of, instead of uplifting somebody, that's the end result of you tearing down somebody. And that's a job. You get paid to do that. She's a cautionary tale. In the Bible, and I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna have to look up the scripture because and I know it says it. In the Bible it states your tongue, this right here, the smallest member on your body, can cause the most damage. You can speak life and death to somebody just by using your tongue. Your tongue is a two-edged sword. You can speak life, you can speak death. You know, so it's like we need to be careful of what comes out of our mouth. I know, like I said, God's still working on me, and I try not to tear down nobody. I really do. You know, even Trump, you know, I don't like what he stands for and I don't like what he does. But as a child in Christ, I do have to love him because that's what God tells me to do. I do have to love him, and I don't wish any ill will on him. I don't, you know. He has issues that he needs to work. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. He's got issues he really needs to work on and needs to be addressed. The Bible says, hate the sin, love the sinner. I don't like what he stands for, and I don't like what he does. But I do love him as a child in Christ. I do. You know, so those who are confused by that statement, it just basically means you don't have to like what this person does. Hell, you don't even have to like what this person stands for. You have to love him as a person, as a human. You have to love him or them. You know, even with my sisters. You know, I don't like what they do, and I especially don't like what they've done to me. Okay, but as a child in Christ, I do love them because they're still human. You know, and I've had a conversation like, well, Lisa, you need to let that go. Da, 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 da. I said, I have. You know, I just bring that up as a point, as a bullet point. You know, that not every family is Leave It to Beaver. Okay, families are dysfunctional, sorely dysfunctional. You know, but at the end of the day, you may not like what they do. You may not like what they say. Hell, you might not even like what they stand for. But they are human, and we still have to love them regardless. You know, and let's break down forgiveness, shall we? Okay, because a lot of people misinterpret forgiveness. Okay, they really do, because you have to understand something, right? You have to understand that forgiveness, half the people don't know that you're angry at them, and the other half don't care. So with that, those two knowing points, who do you think that the forgiveness is really for? It's for you. It's for you, so that your mind and your spirit can be at peace. You know, you have to be at peace, because when you hold on to that anger, you hold on to that resentment, that's not doing you any good. All that's doing is tearing you down. You're tearing yourself down, because you're holding on and harboring all these, you know, angry emotions, because of what somebody might have done to you or to your loved one, you know? Forgive. Now, the guy who raped me and the guy who assaulted me, I can honestly say I've forgiven him. I have forgiven him, you know? It sucks that I have to deal with the residuals from it, but I've forgiven him. Any of my exes in my past, I've forgiven, you know? And to be honest, I'm not going to put it, because it takes two to make a relationship now. And I've no, I did my fair share. You know what I'm saying? But it's not cheating, but it's other things that I've done, you know. And it's like, okay, you know, God got me quiet for a reason. And the reason, sometimes God will tell you, stand still, you know. And God's got me standing still. Okay. I did so much back in my 20s and 30s. Now is the time. God's like, okay, I need you to be still and I need you to be quiet. So I'm still, I'm quiet, you know, and I know He talks to me because He talks to me in my sleep, you know. So because that's when He knows I'm more attentive. It's when I'm asleep. Because during the day, I'm doing other things. I'm not gonna hear Him anyway. But at night, when I'm asleep, when my spirit's at rest, He talks to me. And I'm like, I wake up the next morning and say, I heard you loud and clear, you know? So it's like, you know, let the anger go. And it's like I had a conversation. I've told people, I even told my therapist this just recently. I'm like, look, I've had people say, you know, well, they should take anger out of the book because that's just a negative emotion, get you in trouble. Anger should be illegal. No, no. Anger is a natural human emotion. Where you're getting it twisted, it's what you do with that anger that makes it illegal. Okay? I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. It's what you do with that anger that makes it illegal. Anger is a human emotion. Jealousy is a human emotion. All of that is a human emotion, but it's what you do with it that makes it bad. In the Bible, it states, and I quote, "Revengeance is mine, saith the Lord of hosts." It's not up on us to take that revenge. That's his job. That is his job. Because he says it. Revenge is mine, saying the Lord of hosts. Okay? Which kind of goes hand in hand with the statement, revenge is a dish best served cold. You know, because that's not our job to take revenge. That's why all the time, you know, when somebody do something to me, I don't have to get back at you. I do not have to. I mean, a lot of people call it karma, you know, but he's taking his vengeance. Lay not your hand on my anointed, you know. Revenge is his job. That ain't our job. Because you see what happens when we take revenge in our hands. We don't we kill up people and shoot up people and go ape shit, and then we in prison either for the rest of our lives or on death row. This is not our job to take revenge. That's his job, you know. So I just wanted to jump on and say some words. Hopefully I'll do it again soon. I mean, I'm gonna try and start out the new year um doing more, dropping more videos and stuff like that. But where I'm at. And so, with all that being said, because I'm in upstate New York, so, they got a state of emergency declared for New York because it's northeast that that's supposed to be hitting. Um, I hope where I'm at, we don't get hit too hard because I'm about sick, tired, people dumping white stuff on my head. Can we just have 1 year? I've been here 4 years. Can we just have 1 year? I mean, just yeah, without having to have white doodle flakes all over my head. Just 1 year. Try it and see what happens. Because I would be happy. You know, I've been in my house in upstate New York. This will be my fourth year, and so far, all 3 years I've been here, it's like they dumped white poop on my head. I'm tired. Give me a break. You know, give it a break. Man, what do you be doing? Do you be holding in that stuff? And then when winter come, you just like, oh yeah, here we go. Okay, you know what? That maybe you need to see a doctor about that, cause and that's constipation, and that's just and I don't just stop. Just stop. That's all I'm saying. Just stop. Because the sister tired of getting dumped on. And when I say dump, where I'm at, you know, we're not talking 1, 2, 3 inches. We talk about 8, 9, 10, 11 inches. Like, geez, you know. But anyway, for those who are dealing with this, because right now the temperature is 10 degrees, uh, just be safe, stay warm. If you don't have to go outside, please don't. Um, just be safe. And until next time, have a good weekend.